菜根谭
Tending the roots of wisdom.
225静中真静，淡中本然。
225. In stillness lies true tranquility. In simplicity lies inherent nature.
菜根谭原文：风田浪静中，见人生之真境，未诞生息处，识心体之本然。
白话文注解：在风平浪静的际遇里，发现人生的真正境界，于清淡恬静的境况中，认识人性的本来面目。
225-1. In a peaceful and uneventful environment, one can uncover the genuine essence of life. Through a simple and modest way of living, one can truly understand the true nature of humanity. Translated by Biandefu.
225-2. You see the true realm of human life in the peaceful breeze and in quiet waves. You realize the original nature of the mind in plain tastes and quiet talk. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 225-3. It is only when you are living amidst calm and stillness that you can perceive the real topography of human life. It is only by living on course fare and spending your days devoid of distractions that you can acquire knowledge of the real aspect of the human nature. Translated by Paul White.
225-4. In the calm and serene moments, one discovers the true essence of life. Within the simple and tranquil circumstances, one recognizes the true nature of humanity. Translated by Wen Lin.
226言者多不顾行，谈者未必真知。
226. Those who speak a lot may not consider their actions, and those who talk may not necessarily possess true understanding.
菜根谭原文：谈山林之乐者，未必真得山林之趣；厌名利之谈者，未必尽忘名利之情。
白话文注解：经常阔谈山野林泉生活之乐的人，未必就真的完全领悟了山林的真正乐趣；成天高调宣称讨厌功名利禄的人，心中未必就真的抛弃了名利思想。
226-1. Those who frequently boast about the joys of a rustic life in the mountains and forests might not necessarily have fully grasped the genuine pleasures of such a life. Similarly, those who loudly declare their disdain for fame and fortune may not have completely rid themselves of thoughts about worldly recognition and gain. Translated by Biandefu.
226-2. Merely talking about the pleasures of mountains and woods does not mean you really know the flavor of living there. When you profess distaste for fame and fortune, you may not have completely banished all such thoughts. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 226-3. It does not always follow that those who are constantly talking about the delights of the hermit's life really understand the bliss of such a life. And it does not always follow that those who profess to find talk of rank and wealth distasteful have completely banished from their minds all thoughts of rank and wealth. Translated by Paul White.
226-4. Those who often boast about the joys of rural life may not truly understand the genuine pleasures of mountains and forests. Those who loudly proclaim their disdain for fame and fortune may not have entirely abandoned thoughts of prestige and wealth. Translated by Wen Lin.
227无为无作，悠游轻逸。
227. Without striving or doing, one can leisurely enjoy a serene and elegant life.
菜根谭原文：钓水，亦是也，上持生杀之柄，亦其轻细也，且动战争之心。可见喜事不如省事之为事，多能不若无能之全真。
白话文注解：水边垂钓本是一件悠闲乐事，然而钓鱼者却手握对鱼的生杀权利。下棋本来是一种正当高雅的娱乐，但是在这娱乐中却存在争强好胜的战争心理。可见多事就不如无事那样悠闲自在，多才就不如无才那样更能保全纯真本性。
227-1. Fishing by the water's edge should be a leisurely activity. Yet the angler holds the power of life and death over the fish. Playing chess is a legitimate and refined form of entertainment, but within this pastime lies a competitive and combative mentality. This goes to show that being occupied with many matters is not as relaxing as having no concerns. And possessing many talents is not as conducive to preserving one's innate purity as having none. Translated by Bayandefu.
227-2, Fishing by the water is leisurely pleasure, but one still holds a handle on life and death. Playing chess is an elegant pastime, but one's mind is still at war. Thus for keeping your essence whole, one more activity is not as suitable as one less activity, and having great talent can't compare with the complete authenticity of no talent at all. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 227-3, Seated by the waterside fishing is a pleasant and leisurely occupation, but you still wield the power of life and death. Chess is a refined pastime, but the spirit of combat still resides in your heart. So, delight in action is not as good as eschewing action, and possession of talent is not as good as lack of talent in preserving man's basic essence. Translated by Paul White.
227-4. Fishing by the water is originally a leisurely activity. Yet the angler holds the power of life and death over the fish. Playing chess is a legitimate and refined form of entertainment. But within this leisure exists a competitive and combative mentality. It goes to show that having more activities may not be as relaxing as having none, and having more talents may not preserve one's pure and genuine nature as effectively as having none. Translated by Wen Lin.
228. 春色为人间之装饰，秋气见天地之真无。
228. Spring colors adorn the human realm, while the autumn air reveals the true nature of heaven and earth.
菜根谭原文：樱花茂而山浓谷艳，总是乾坤之幻境；水木落而石兽芽枯，才见天地之真无。
白话文注解：鸟语花香，草木繁茂，山谷溪流中充满了艳丽风光，这全是大自然的幻境。河流干涸，树木枯朽，山崖裸露，石面清冷，这才是天地的本来面目。
228-1. The melodious songs of birds, the fragrant blossoms, and the lush vegetation create an enchanting scene, filling the valleys and streams with vibrant beauty. Yet, all of this is the grand illusion of nature. When rivers run dry, trees wither, and cliffs and rocks stand bare and stark, revealing the cold truth of the world's original state. Translated by Bayandefu.
228-2, Nightingales sing, flowers bloom and mountains and valleys are lush with color. These are illusory scenes of the cosmos. Streams ebb and trees wither, boulders are bared and cliffs stripped. Such scenes reveal the true face of heaven and earth. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 228-3, In spring the birds sing, the flowers blossom and the mountains and valleys put on their best gowns. But this is nothing but an illusory world, cloaked in the myriad things by nature. But in autumn the mountain streams dry up, revealing the naked rocks, the trees wither and the cliffs are bald and bare. This is the time when nature shows her real face. Translated by Paul White.
228-4. The melodious bird songs, the fragrance of flowers, and the lush vegetation create a beautiful scenery in the mountains and valleys, all of which are illusions of nature. However, when the rivers dry up, the trees wither, and the mountains reveal their bare and cold surfaces, this is the true face of the earth. Translated by Wen Lin.
229. 世间广狭，皆人自造。
229. The vastness or narrowness of the world is created by individuals themselves.
菜根谭原文：岁月本长，而忙者自助；天地本宽，而比者自爱；风花雪月本闲，而扰攘者自容。
白话文注解：岁月原本悠长，而忙碌的人却觉得短促；天地原本宽广，但是卑微的人却自己将其狭隘；风花雪月原本是闲情逸趣，但是劳苦忧心的人却因之起烦恼。
229-1. Time is inherently lengthy, yet busy individuals perceive it as fleeting. The expanse of the universe is vast, but those of humble stature confine themselves within limited perspectives. The charm of nature's beauty, the wind, flowers, snow, and moon, is meant for leisure and delight. Yet those burdened by toil and worry find themselves vexed by it. Translated by Biandefu.
229-2, months and years are long, only the harried try to hurry them along. Heaven and earth is commodious, only the petty feel cramped. Seasonal scenes are sources of leisure, only the belabored feel put upon. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 229-3, time is, in its essence, boundless, it is busy, harassed people who feel the pressure caused by lack of time. The world is infinitely vast, it is petty-minded people who think that it is small and cramped. The delights of nature are there for people's enjoyment, but people in a frantic rush see them as sources of trouble. Translated by Paul White.
229-4. The years are originally long. Yet busy individuals perceive them as brief. The expanse of the heavens and earth is vast. But humble individuals narrow it down. The beauty of nature, represented by wind, flowers, snow, and the moon, is originally meant for leisure and pleasure. Yet those burdened with toil and worry find annoyance in it. Translated by Wen Lin.
230. 乐贵自然真趣，景物不在多远。
230. The true joy lies in natural and genuine pursuits. The beauty of scenery is not determined by distance.
菜根谭原文，得趣不在多，盆池泉时间烟霞俱足，慧景不在远，蓬窗竹屋下，风月自奢。
白话文注解：领悟大自然情趣，不必跋山涉水到远处去寻求，有趣的东西也并不用多。人若得一段清趣，即使在水池和小石头间，也可欣赏到万里山川的气势，片言之语之内，亦可领略古代圣贤的思想精华。这才是高明之士的眼界，旷达之人的胸襟。
230-1. To grasp the essence of nature's charm, there's no need to trek far and wide. Interesting things aren't necessarily abundant. If one can find a fragment of tranquility, even amidst a pond and small stones, the grandeur of vast mountains and rivers can be appreciated. Within a few words and phrases, the essence of ancient sages' wisdom can also be illuminated. This is the perspective of the wise and the breadth of the open-minded. Translated by Biandefu.
230-2, it does not take much to enjoy nature, a small basin and a fist-sized stone can evoke mists and a hazy scene. Appreciating scenery does not require journeying far, sitting by the thatched window of a bamboo hut, brushed by the breeze and moonlight, satisfies the self. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 230-3, enjoy the beauties of nature. One does not have to travel to dozens of renowned spots, a pond of clear water and a few rocks of strange shape can contain all the delights of natural landscapes. To grasp the subtlety of nature, it is not necessary to journey to awesome mountains or beautiful lakes, it is sufficient to sit quietly in a humble cottage and let the breeze brush your cheek and the moonlight shine upon you. Translated by Paul White.
230-4. Understanding the charm of nature doesn't require venturing far and wide or crossing mountains and rivers. Interesting things are not necessarily abundant. If one can find a moment of tranquility, even between a small pond and pebbles, they can appreciate the grandeur of distant mountains and rivers. Within a few words, one can also grasp the essence of ancient sages' thoughts. This is the broad perspective of the wise and the expansive heart of enlightened individuals. Translated by Wen Lin.
231. 镜现本体，水清影明。
231. In stillness, the true nature appears. Clear water reflects a vivid image.
菜根谭原文，听静夜之钟声，唤醒梦中之梦，观澄潭之月影，窥见身外之身。
白话文注解：寂静夜晚的钟声，可以把人们从虚妄的梦境中唤醒，从清澈的潭水中观察月亮的倒影，可以窥见我们肉身以外的灵性。
231-1. The tranquil night's bell toll can awaken people from illusory dreams. Observing the moon's reflection in clear pond water allows us to glimpse our spiritual essence beyond our physical form. Translated by Bayandefu.
231-2. Listening to the temple bell in the still of night, I wake into the dream within a dream. Gazing at the reflected moon in the still pond, I glimpse the body beyond the body. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 231-3. The sound of a temple bell on a still midnight can waken the great dream of life. Like the moon seen in a limpid pool, the spirit can be glimpsed outside the flesh. Translated by Paul White.
231-4. The quiet night bell can awaken people from the illusion of dreams. While observing the reflection of the moon in clear pond water, allows us to glimpse the spirituality beyond our physical existence. Translated by Wen Lin.
232. 传心之诀，见道之文。
232. The key to conveying the heart and the text of understanding the Tao.
菜根谭原文：鸟语虫声，总是传心之诀；花英草色，无非见道之文。学者要天机清澈，胸次玲珑，处物皆有会心处。
白话文注解：鸟语虫鸣都是表达思想的方式，花的艳丽和草的青葱，无不蕴藏着大自然的奥妙文章。研究学问的人必须使灵智清明透彻，胸怀光明磊落，这样跟事物接触时，才能心领神会，有所觉悟。
232-1. The chirping of birds and the buzzing of insects are all forms of expressing thoughts. The splendor of flowers and the lushness of grasses all conceal the mysteries of nature's profound text. Those who engage in scholarly pursuits must cultivate clear and perceptive intellect. Maintain an open and honest mind. This way, when interacting with phenomena, they can grasp their essence and achieve insights. Translated by Bayandefu.
232-2. The chirping of birds and twittering of insects are all murmurings of the mind. The brilliance of flowers and colors of grasses are none other than the patterns of the Tao. Learned persons must be clear of heart and transparent in purpose, and thus be in harmony with the heart of all things they touch. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 232-3. The cries of birds and the chirping of insects express their innermost feelings. The splendor of flowers and the hues of grasses are invariably the revelations of the laws of nature. When a learned man's spirit is bright and his heart is clear, he can draw inspiration from whatever he comes into contact with. Translated by Paul White.
232-4. Birdsong and insect sounds are all ways of expressing thoughts. The beauty of flowers and the greenness of grass all contain the profound mysteries of nature. Those who study knowledge must have a clear and bright intellect, an open and upright mind, so that when they come into contact with things, they can understand and awaken to them. Translated by Wen Lin.